What's up, AR gang? It's your boy Rico. Today we are going to be talking about Fort Bliss. Yes, Fort Bliss, the Army installation, Army post, whatever you want to call it, home of the 1st Armored Division. Um, Before we get started though, make sure y'all hit the like button, the subscribe button. If you like what you see, go ahead and check out our page, and hey, just continue to like and subscribe. All right, so recently I PCS to Fort Bliss. Got here at the end of November time frame. This is my first duty assignment, by the way. And yeah, like coming into PCSing to Fort Bliss, it was a lot of mixed reactions that I got from people. Obviously, I wanted to ask people, what they thought about it. Did they like it? And I got some, oh, Fort Bliss sucks. You're not gonna like it. There's not much to do around there. It's very boring. And then I got some, hey, Fort Bliss is like a really nice place. You're really gonna like it. A lot of outdoorsy things to do. And yeah, just kind of mixed reactions. So I really didn't know what to expect when I got here. I feel like in my mind I was expecting the worst, just because I wanted to kind of like prepare myself if it was really as bad as people made it seem to be. But after moving here, being here for a little over a month now, definitely a lot more than what I expected. So initially, I'll start with like how we came into Fort Bliss. So we drove, and once we got into like mid Texas, heading more west, it was just more of like just desert, just straight desert, nothing besides just dried up grass and sand. That's it. So seeing that, it was kind of like, I don't know, like this may not be for me. Which in my case, it wouldn't have made a difference anyway, because I have to be here. But it wasn't looking too good. But as we drove more, got further west, like I said, more and more desert. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like boom, like poof, a big city appears out of nowhere. Don't get me wrong, it's not an Atlanta, it's not a Dallas, it's not a Houston, it's not anything like any of the major cities that we know. But on the other hand, it's definitely way better than other cities that a lot of military posts are in. El Paso is considered to be I believe they consider it to be a major city. I'll put quotations because it's not like I said, it's not like Dallas, Houston, anything like that. But they do have tons of things to do. They have a nice downtown area. There's a Top Golf here. There's a indoor skydiving called iFly. Tons of restaurants to eat at. A bunch of outdoors things to do, like hiking, fishing, whatever you like to do outdoors, is pretty much can be done here. Those are just some of the major things that caught my attention. There are a lot more things here. Like I said, the El Paso Fort Bliss area is very big. Normally when you go to a army post, the post is usually the biggest thing in that city. This is not the case here. So I will say there's not tons of nightlife, but I will say that so far I like Fort Bliss. I was or El Paso / Fort Bliss. I would say that it is definitely, in my opinion, just based off the surrounding area, I would say it's a better duty station to be at, because you don't have to travel very far to go, do much of anything for real. I mean, if you want to go to like a bigger city like Dallas, Houston, Dallas is about 8 hours away. Houston is like 10 and a half. Then you have like Phoenix, which is like 5 hours away. So there are major cities to do bigger things at, but as far as the city of El Paso, you're gonna get what you need, and you can live and have things to do, and it's very family friendly. So very good for that aspect. As far as Fort Bliss, so like I said, this is my first duty station, but I've grown up in a military family, so I've been to several military posts. And comparing Fort Bliss just based off the things they have to offer on the post for the soldiers and their families, I will say that in my opinion, Fort Bliss is better than a lot of them. I've been to Fort Knox, I've been to Fort Shafter. What's some other place I've been? I've been to Fort McPherson. It's shut down now. Fort Gordon, obviously. Been to a number of military installations, basically, and none of them come close to what I've seen on Fort Bliss. Just alone, just starting with the PX, kind of like the main area of the post, I would say, just because it has the PX and movie theater and clothing sales, all that good stuff that you need, to live, make sure your uniform is straight, eat, all that good stuff. Like, that's what I would consider the main area. The PX is nice, okay? It's a little bit bigger than most PXs that I've been to. They have like a vendor area where different vendors sell what they, have to sell. There's little like shops in the PX building before you actually get into like the physical exchange itself, that they sell other things at. Like, I know there's one shop that they have a Patriot Tactical, obviously. They have a GNC. There's a shop that sells like fitted hats, sports team wear, things of that nature. And then on the other side of that is a food court. Now, this is probably the largest food court that I've seen on an army post. I haven't seen any other food court this big have this many restaurants, and like, it's just a plethora of options. One thing that really caught my attention was the fact that they actually have a Texas Roadhouse in the food court. Like, not somewhere else on post, like it's actually a part of the food court. There's a lot of other restaurants in there. If you want to know what they have on post, you can easily just Google it and see what they have on post. But it's a plethora of options, like plethora. You will never get bored of eating at the food court, in my opinion. The PX in itself too is a completely like different setup. So they have the PX, the vendor itself, and then the commissary is like right next door. But there's this place attached to like the PX area. It's called Freedom Crossing. So it's basically just a little strip mall. It has like it has Buffalo Wild Wings, an Under Armour store. There's some other restaurants. I think it's like a Blaze Pizza or a Mod Pizza, one of those two. But it has these restaurants that you typically would not find on an army post, and I believe it's the only like PX, if you will, of its kind that has these sort of amenities attached to it. So as far as just eating, getting what you need, it's just very different than the typical military installation that you're probably used to. The clothing itself is a pretty good size. Yeah, it's totally different. It caught me completely off guard. Another thing too, so kind of on the, I would say like the other side of the PX, there's a movie theater. Now, if you've been in the army or military installation, anything like that, you know that typically, like, the movie theater on post is gonna be like, I don't know, like a basic movie theater, like one screen, just play like one movie or whatever at different times of the day. Fort Bliss has a commercial movie theater, like a movie theater that you will see off post, kind of like an AMC, Cinemark, movie theaters of that nature. Personally, I haven't been to it yet, but I've seen it, and it looks like it's a pretty good size. I've seen pictures of it. Like I said, I haven't been there myself, but just the fact that they have this to offer soldiers on post is incredible. I've never seen anything like this. Like I said, I was like raised in a military family, so I've been in different places. I've been to a typical army movie theater, and it looks nothing like this. A typical army movie theater is going to be like an old brick building that they probably did briefings in, but they just so happen to throw a movie theater screen in and show movies here and there. No, this one is like a legit movie theater. So yeah. Fort Bliss itself is extremely huge. It's pretty big. If I'm not mistaken, it's one of the biggest posts, I want to say, CONUS wise. it's actually so big it's split up into two sections. So there's a West Bliss and there's an East Bliss. Um, West Bliss is like the more older Bliss, kind of like the buildings they already had there before they expanded Fort Bliss to make it what it is today. Um, but yeah, basically before Fort Bliss used to be a trade outpost, and then they decided they need to bring a major division here, hence First Armored Division. And so pretty much all of East Bliss, that's like the newer units that they brought in to expand it. So First Armored is all the way on the other side on East Bliss, and like the older units that have been, you know, there for a longer time are on West Bliss. So yeah, Fort Bliss is very big. More than likely, depending on what unit you're in, you're probably gonna stay on one side of Bliss and never really have to go to the other side because there's really no need to. But yeah, that's pretty much it with East and West Bliss. So another thing that's important to know about traveling, moving to Fort Bliss is the housing. Myself, I live off post due to the fact that there's just not a lot of housing at this point. I think housing right now is backed up, I want to say like 8 months to a year. So it just wasn't worth, you know, having to wait it out for a house. And plus I kind of like just, you know, getting off post and kind of having my own space away from kind of like work environment. But what I will say is, from what I've seen, housing on Fort Bliss, it looks pretty nice. There is quite a bit of housing, but I just think Fort Bliss has so many soldiers coming in at this point in time that it's just not, you know, not enough housing. I definitely say look into it if you want to live on post. Call the housing office. When you get here, go to the housing office, see what they have available, obviously, and just kind of make your decision from there. But as of recently, I know housing has been backed up. I had a fellow person that PCS to Fort Bliss kind of around the same time that I did, a little bit after, maybe a couple weeks after, and they were looking into getting a house on post, and they haven't been able to get into house on post yet. They're currently, you know, waiting on a house. So just keep that in mind if you're moving here to Fort Bliss. Just try to, if you know you're gonna move out here, probably like, I don't know, some years in advance, I would probably try to start working it now, because they may be able to get you on a wait list, and you may be able to, you know, be able to move into a house by the time you actually are ready to PCS to Fort Bliss. Yeah, so far, like I said, I like Fort Bliss. It seems like it's a good place to be. Definitely lots of things to do around the area and on post. They do have a bowling alley, which is very typical. As I mentioned earlier, it has a movie theater. And then really, obviously, you know, on military installations, they always try to have something to do or advertise something to do for soldiers, you know, to get involved in, so that they're not just, you know, staying in their barracks room. So just make sure, you know, you just get out, look for flyers, because they'll have flyers different places, and just talk to people. That's how you figure out what the installation has to offer you, or what the community around the installation has to offer you. So yeah, just really, I would say if you're PCSing here, just, you know, keep a positive mindset. I do know that certain experiences can be altered based on a specific unit that you go to. But like I said, just be positive about it. Keep an open mind to it. And I would just say, make the decision on whether you like Fort Bliss yourself. Don't let somebody else make that decision for you. Like I said, I had plenty of people tell me that Fort Bliss was, you know, not so good and this and that. And then I got here and then I'm like, oh, you know, like this is nothing like what I expected, because I've been to, like I've told you, I've came up in the military family. I've been to places like Fort Knox where there's literally nothing around the area for you to do, like nothing at all. So this is completely different. It's manageable, it's livable, and I think that if you just make the best of it and just, you know, get out there and, you know, don't sit in the house or don't sit in your barracks room, you'll be, you know, you'll be just fine. Like I said, there's plenty to do in the area. You just have to, you know, find out about it and then just do it. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and then if you want to see more content, just stay tuned to our YouTube page. Peace.
I love you.